Welcome YouTube, Intuitive Edge here. Today I would like to talk about another thing that's been in the news lately, and that is Yellowstone. Yes, the big supervolcano right in the smack dab in north central part of the United States that is probably one of the big, if not the biggest, supervolcano on the planet. And last several weeks, she's been having lots and lots of earthquakes. She has earthquakes all the time. That's nothing new. But the earthquakes have stepped up in intensity and volume and frequency. And so it has some people worried. They've said, well, she's overdue. She hasn't popped off in the last 640,000 odd years. And she could pop off again. They know that, but the key is when, and of course that has everybody on edge, because nobody knows when is it going to pop off. Also, a thing to note with Yellowstone is, yes, she has the potential to, go all at once and be some, earth-ending catastrophic event that'll affect the whole planet. That is a potential, but she also has the potential maybe to do a, we'll pop off over here kind of thing. And yeah, it'll be bad, but it's not gonna, it's not gonna kill off everybody like they did with the dinosaurs, years ago. But, so let's look at Yellowstone. Let's look at what's going on over there in the middle of the United States of America. Is she getting ready to blow? She's had lots and lots of earthquakes. Lots and lots of earthquakes. Some of them, I think the biggest was around a 5-point something, which is pretty big earthquake. It's not the biggest earthquake she's ever had. There was, I believe, somewhere around the 7 range in 1959, August 17th. Look it up. Anyway, is she getting ready to blow? Is Yellowstone, yes, she's an active volcano. Everybody knows that. But is she waking up and deciding that she wants to pop off sometime in the near future? If she does, what kind of eruption are we looking at? Are we looking at a, catastrophic earth-ending event? The end is near, oh my god. Or are we looking at, kind of a bad eruption and, life will go on, albeit maybe in a different, maybe some differences, but Yellowstone. All right, well, let's see what we got here in the cards. Shuffle a couple more times. Yellowstone. Is she going to blow in the near future? Okay, all right. Gonna cut the deck here. Ooh, interesting. All right, we cut the deck. Let's take a look at what we got going here. Yellowstone. I'm going to do past, present, and what we're looking at. Kind of past, present, future, a blend of that theme. Okay. Okay, all right. So this is interesting. So the past card is the Four of Pentacles. This is really basically a card of holding on to, keeping everything together and holding on to what you've got. That's the basic meaning of the card. And obviously Yellowstone's been kind of holding herself together and holding on. She's been, like this is the images, I'm holding on to everything that's mine and I'm keeping mine. But she's just been hanging out, holding on. We got the Five of Cups. This is a card of loss. Generally speaking, it's a card of emotional loss and emotional upset. But it's a card of loss and moving on in a new direction. Dealing with loss, dealing with upset. Oh boy. Okay, now I do have to tell you, this is intuitive tarot, and I haven't really gotten into what I'm about on my page yet, because I'm still just getting videos out there. But what I do is I take a typical tarot deck, and I loosely translate the exact meaning of the cards. The cards all have their meanings. and I go with the traditional general meaning, but what I like to do is incorporate my intuition and my psychic sense along with it. So I might see something in a card that maybe isn't the, the traditional meaning is this, but I might see something in the card and it'll trigger my psychic sense, and then I'll tell you what I'm seeing psychically. Okay? So, and I can see already some things forming with this reading. This is going to get interesting. So hold on to your seats. Okay. Page of Pentacles. This is a card. Pages are always messengers. Okay. This is a messenger about what's coming. All right. What I see initially on this is, okay, this is a card of loss, losing something. The fact that it's got the cups overturned and there's red blood coming out, traditionally but you can also look at this as lava and the spilling of lava and having lava come out. What I see with this, oh my goodness, okay, this is symbolic of an eruption. Now, I don't know, I'm not saying Yellowstone's going to erupt, but what I am saying is this is going to tell a story and then we'll piece it together. But what I see with this card, it could very well indicate an eruption. You've got the dark clouds, you've got, it could look like an ash cloud, really, if you look at that intuitively. Plus, you've got the spilled lava. Plus you've got gold, and the cups are gold, and to me, for some reason, that brings up like minerals in the ground. And God, with an eruption, you get all kinds of stuff that come up. You got the ash cloud. There's so much. But I'm definitely seeing, I'm definitely picking up on like what an eruption would be, and to me, this is symbolic of what it could be. So we got our past, present, future. And with it being a loss, it could be, I'm thinking it could be an eruption, signaling an eruption. But we kind of want to narrow down, what that's going to look like, where, we know where, but how bad is it going to be? Okay. So, all right. And then we've got our message coming. We've got a message coming about the future. This is keeping everything under wraps. This is spilling things out in the open and loss. And this is a message. I would say there's a message coming about Yellowstone. She could very well pop off. And like I said, for those that want to panic and think it's the end of the world, well, it could just be, it doesn't have to be catastrophic. It can be a small eruption, but, likely with Yellowstone, even a small eruption is probably going to upset a lot of things. Let's keep looking. Oh, crud. Uh-oh. Okay. We're getting kind of weird here. All right. Ace of Pentacles. Oh, my goodness. I didn't really want to see that. Okay, guys. Trying to stay positive. All right. So what we see here is we've got our over the card of holding it together, and you've got creative energy. You've got a lot of energy, which Yellowstone definitely does have a lot of pent up energy. The fact that it's reversing, to me, tends to think that she's going to release some of that energy. What we have here, this is really actually not a good card to have in the position of what I described as looking like an eruption, because you've got the Tower card. For those of you that know tarot and know the Tower card, you know what that means. It basically means catastrophic, upheaval, revolution, basically everything blowing up. It's basically a catastrophe. And I had that over the top of what I was describing looked like. You've got the lava, you've got the ash clouds, and then you've got the Tower card, which is the quintessential card of catastrophe in the tarot deck. Lovely, right? Okay. Okay, we had a message. This is a message about what's coming. Pages are messengers, and now we have the moon. Oh boy. The moon card is, it is the card of intuition. It is the card, you know what I see with that? Okay, I'm going into intuition. I'm not going to describe the cards as much right now. Intuition to me is saying that an eruption from Yellowstone, as we know, could block out the sun for quite a while. It could, you could have a couple days where the skies are just kind of full of ash and dark until things settle out and settle down. Again, this isn't to make anybody run and scream and hide in fear. There's no sense to do that. But when we got the moon card, I'm seeing like the opposite of well, obviously the moon comes out at night. And they're saying that if Yellowstone goes, we could end up with darkness in our days even. This is what's coming, what we have, what's been. I see darkness, what could happen with the ash cloud kind of dark, making things dark for a little while. Okay, hold on, we got more cards coming. We're going to look a little further what this looks like. And then we're going to do the top card. Okay, so give me a moment. This is a card also of interesting. It's a card of loss, also of moving on after a fight. It's like kind of like when you walk away from a fight or you give up. But this is interesting because this card below it, and these are all I kind of read them all in a line. So you had like holding on to what you have, and this is like almost like letting go and releasing energy. And then this card is cutting ties with the past. This is cutting your losses. This is moving on and cutting your losses. If I was just, if I was just to say, I would say that would indicate that she's gonna let go here, I think. Now, can I say when she's gonna erupt? No. Can I predict, what's gonna happen? I mean, it's speculation at this point. I'm just telling you what I see in the cards. So this is just my interpretation, my opinion. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a volcanologist. I'm just giving you my opinion on what I see in the cards. To me, this is like cutting loose and letting go, cutting your ties, cutting your losses. I see that as letting go. Okay, we have the Chariot. Okay, we've got another major arcana. 2 major arcana in the present situation. Both of these cards, 1, 2, 3, 4. I haven't gotten that far yet. That's another one. These are major arcanas. They carry a little bit more weight in reading. So what we have as the, I described what looked like could be an eruption of some sort with the catastrophe card. And this is what's presently happening. What's moving into current event. What's taking place. This is also, we've got the Chariot. This card is about, this is a powerful card, moving forward, advancing. But we've got it reversed, which tells me, yes, you're moving forward, you're advancing, but it's holding back a little bit. So, what that could possibly mean, and I'm just going to take a stab at it, this could possibly mean that her eruption won't be like world ending. It might be holding back a little bit, which is a good thing because life on the planet kind of depends on that. So, and then we've got, I feel like this is like a holding back. Like there's energy to move forward and charge forward, but it's holding, there's something that's holding it back a little. So thank Keck for that. All right. Then we've got over the message coming, possibly involving some darkness in the skies, and that's just my loose interpretation. I'm not, this is interpretive tarot, intuitive tarot. But, okay, this is, there's a couple ways we could interpret this. All right. So I'm relying on my guides and my angels to help me do the correct interpretation because there's a couple ways we could go with that. What I'm thinking right off the bat when I see that is that it's going to affect the world. Because Yellowstone would. I mean, even Mount St. Helens, her ash went all the way around the world. It took a few years, but it did. They found her ash over in Europe. I mean, it went all over the world. And if you think of something like Yellowstone, that would definitely affect the world, especially if it blows so much that it's affecting sunlight. It might only be a third, of the planet, but it's going to affect a good portion of the planet. Um, and we don't know the long-term effects of that, but when you've got the world in your future position, I'm thinking it's going to be a worldwide event. It's going to affect the planet, not just the United States of America, although it'll affect us the most. It'll affect us the most because we're sitting here right on top of it. Many people live like right near the park. Many people live and work right there. There's communities, there's cities all around there. It's not like it's sparsely populated. It's that's a huge area. I mean, gosh, the diameter of the caldera is, it's miles. It's huge. Several hundred miles, kilometers. It's big. But I'm thinking it's going to be a world event. I have a feeling what comes to me, looking at that card, the world, it seems like it's going to affect the weather. There's going to be weather changes because of it. Yellowstone goes, it's going to not only affect the sun and how the sun reaches the earth and the vegetation, oh my god, but it's going to cause some weird weather, like bizarre weather. You're going to have, maybe just storms develop. You're going to see, maybe regions that are colder than normal, and the sun is going to be affected as well. It's going to affect vegetation and plant life. It might cause certain plants in certain areas, certain crops, to just die out. Because if they rely on the sun, they rely on the weather. If you get a freak storm that destroys your crop, or if you can't get sunlight to your crops, or it just depends. But there's we're kind of at the mercy of our environment when we live on the surface of this planet, and if you get something in there that disrupts, like a huge blow from Yellowstone, that's gonna cause that could cause quite a bit of disruption. So it doesn't hurt. If you want to be a prepper, that's up to you. But it never hurts to have some dried food on hand, and just you don't have to go all out. You don't have to be afraid, but it never hurts. Store some bottled waters in your garage if you can. Store some, they sell those buckets of dried food, where all you have to add is water. I mean, maybe have some extra propane on hand or just whatever, but it's probably just smart. You don't have to go all out. You don't have to be afraid, but it's just smart. Just smart. Because a catastrophic event like that, if it does affect the world, I'm seriously, this card, check that out. You've got a storm on one side, you have the sun on the other, you've got vegetation in the middle, and it's about the world. Okay, this deck is like awesome. It's, to me, that is like wow. All right, we're gonna wrap this up here. We've got the Four of Cups. This is a card. This is the overall. This is kind of like what the whole thing's about. Four of Cups. Again, that's kind of like, she's got some clouds coming with her offering. You know what, people? Obviously, I can't say that Yellowstone is going to blow tomorrow. I can't do that. I wouldn't do that, but I would say the potential's there, definitely. Even with this reading, it's definitely there. She could be gearing up to blow. I see it coming. when, I don't know. But I wouldn't say it's real far off. I think the potential's there for her to express herself volcanically. I see that because that's an offering and it's coming with a cloud of ash and dust behind it, and that's just what I see psychically. I'm gonna wrap it up. That's it for now. Just be prepared, be ready. If you feel like you want to do some prep work ahead of time, or maybe you want to move out of the area, like southern Brazil, that's up to you. But anyway, hope you're doing well. Thank you very much. If you liked it, go ahead and like my video. Subscribe if you want more content. And love you. See you later. Bye.